Now, the Chicago Bears. I mean, I don't know what to make of it because they were in line to win it last week. They were. I'm wondering if we're going to be looking back at the end of the season and that Hail Mary is something that left an indelible mark on this team.
Totally with you.
Yesterday's performance didn't give you much of a hope that this didn't leave a mark and they didn't have a Hail Mary hangover in Arizona. And again, by the end of the year, we may find out Arizona's defense is no joke and they make a lot of teams look like the Bears looked. And the Bears had their worst offensive performance just in terms of numbers, metrics, eye test since they got spanked in Houston in week 2 on that Sunday night. And after winning in London, they're 4-2. Caleb Williams looked terrific. They go on a bye, and Caleb looked, with this offense, lost for 3 quarters until just an absolute stone's fourth quarter performance against a Commanders team that was all over him, and he had him in line to win, and then that friggin' Hail Mary hit. Now they're back to 500 because that was a disappointing performance, to say the least. Caleb has no touchdown passes in his last 2 games now. And he had 4 in that game I called against Jacksonville in London. He's only completing 49.2% of his passes over the last 2. He's taken 4.5 sacks per game. Trouble protecting him / not hitting the back foot and hitting somebody. Unless it's their offense. And I'll tell you what, Bears fans are out for blood right now. Mm-hmm. The one, if you want to call, you could speak to one in the back in Adam Chudwin. Every Bears fan I know is like, it's got to be the system, it's got to be the OC, it's got to be the HC. Now, again, we'll see what happens. The Bears don't make changes midseason, so forget that, whether it's worthy to even consider it or not. They don't do that. And plus, this is the play caller of the defense, and the defense is, you know, if it keeps getting 3 and outed back out there, or the Bears don't make any hay on the offensive side of the scoreboard, any good defense is going to finally break, certainly when you're going against an elite playing quarterback like Kyler Murray right now. But the Bears now go home, and they're better at home. Did you see that stat that in the Eberflus era, the Bears have yet to win a Sunday game on the road? They showed that one during the game.
Wow.
And they were all set to do that last week until that freaking Hail Mary. God, the Bears are just like, they got to wipe that out of their mouths. And then now in comes New England. I mean, they have to beat them up. They have to. Get back feeling good about themselves, and then rubbers meet in the road. You look at their schedule, home for Green Bay, home for Minnesota. They're home for 3 in a row, and they are a much better home team than they are on the road. The Thanksgiving game at Detroit kicks off a 4-game stretch that's at San Francisco, at Minnesota, home for Detroit. Seattle comes in on the final Thursday night of the season, and then they're at Green Bay. Who knows what that's for? But 5-3 would be a much better position to be starting this than 4-4. That freaking Hail Mary. We're still talking about it for a good reason, because they just absolutely fell flat in Arizona. Which for them also, if you think the Niners are going to come on strong after they come back from their bye healthier, the Rams just did what we saw. They've won 3 in a row. If you think the Cardinals will be a team in the wild card hunt, Bears just had a brutal loss. Brutal. Especially if you think the Eagles might start performing as consistently as we've seen over the last month and overtake Washington. And Washington is in a wild card hunt. Because this division is going to be won by the Lions. And if somebody shocks them, it ain't going to be the Lions. Ain't going to be the Bears sitting at 4-4 right now with an offense that is up and down. Caleb just looks like he comes out overhyped. They have first quarter problems. And it's either Caleb not, coming out in a more reserved, calm manner like we saw in the fourth quarter, seems to needs to get hit around before he starts playing. That fourth quarter in D.C., just take a look at it. It was really maybe his best quarter of football. And again, I called him scoring 4 times in the air in London. We need that guy to come out of the locker room. And Shane Waldron got to dial it up, because if he doesn't, then a lot of people in Chicago might wind up getting got. And I'll just say it. All you're hearing, now I'll just say it because I'm not I'll just tell you what I hear over and over and over again, is that if Ben Johnson wanted a gig, it's the one in Chicago. And he gets deep in his bag offensively. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.